Hello, and okay, real quick. Boop. I know we live right now, but SS, I was just thinking about our human design charts.
Uh-huh.
And your human design chart, um even though we're both generators and we're created to respond, and you're a manifesting generator, um, you have the gate of starting things. And
Okay.
I have the gate of closing things. And we actually create a channel between the two of us. Um,
Nice.
but I was thinking though, as it pertains to easy talks, I think that we should switch it, even though we're live now and people are hearing this conversation, that gets to
Uh-huh.
be okay. But I think you should start easy talks and I should close easy talks in honor of our designs.
Okay, so let's start it. Let's do it now.
Okay.
So, good evening, or actually, good morning, whichever coast you're on. This is Zendalannette, the Z of Easy, and this is my sis.
The E of easy, Erica Lynn.
And we just want to welcome you all to our no, my God, our November Easy Talks. And yes, we cut it close, but hey, lives, we still prioritize, and we're here still in the month of November. So happy Thanksgiving to those who celebrate. Happy holiday seasons to all. So we're going to kick off and get started with our Easy Talks. And sis, at this point, I'm going to kick it back over to you to see what Chantel has for us today.
All right, all
Because per
right.
usual, I really don't know what we're going to talk about, so we're just going to make it do what it do.
Yes, and we did pick a theme. So, what's this month's theme? Do you remember?
Forgiveness.
And
Ho'oponopono. Ho'oponopono.
and with Thanksgiving.
Gratitude.
Hey,
Yes. And I'm going to put a plug in, even though I did switch it over to my sis. I'm going to put a plug in for her new publication, the Ho'oponopono Journal and Experience, that you really need to get. And I'm not saying that because she's my sis, but I'm saying it because it is transformational. So at the end, make sure you share that information. My ace tip asked about it. I asked about it when I talked to her over the holiday. She was like, "Now, what's Erica's new book?" And I told her about it. Yep. So it's being seen. So get your copy. It really is transformational. So
oh, thank you. And I am so excited to share that I am up to 7 sales. So,
yay, jazz hands. I only have
so
one because I'm
excited.
holding my phone today.
Yeah. So, no, that is super exciting because I made a post yesterday sharing that I had made five. And since then, we're up to seven. And I keep talking about, I mean, I guess this is fitting too. Chantel did come up with 3 questions for us, but as we are discussing the theme of forgiveness and gratitude, I feel like the Ho'oponopono journal journey mirrors this so beautifully because I am filled with so much gratitude. Um, that like 7 sales is such a big deal, and it's a big deal because yes, of the sales, yay, but for me, like, the gratitude more so comes from, like, I went through the trenches. I
Mhm.
went through the darkness, like dark AF, like couldn't see not a doggone thing. The tears, the sadness, the hurt, the pain, the despair, like the depths into which I traveled.
Mhm.
And to be on the other side and to be sharing the tools that I use to navigate, and the fact that other women are using it, like, that's where the gratitude really comes from, and my hubby talks to me often about, just being mindful of using my tools and, like, putting into place systems to get the compensation for all of the things that I have done to invest in myself, to invest in my healing, to invest in my personal growth and development. And so that's why the sales are also so, such a gift, because I'm like, this is happening. Like, this is real, like, and people are buying it, like, and it's a double edged gift, because one, people are buying it, but two, people get to heal.
Yeah.
People get to transform. People get, like, the tools to change their lives. And that's one of the things I put in the post yesterday, and I meant it so sincerely, is, I guess we're about to nurse during easy. Um,
Hey.
that's one of the things, is like, your life will forever be changed as a result of the Ho'oponopono journal journey. Like it won't
Hmm.
be the same once you do the exercises and partake. So
Yes.
that is the biggest gift. And the forgiveness, like letting that go, releasing resentment, opening up your heart. And we have a Ho'oponopono sister circle. And that's one of the things that we got to dive into is like what that tenderness can give you, what it can offer you. So I know this is not what we talked about or what Chantel had, but I just, like I it's just it feels so fitting.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's part of your gratitude. Yeah.
That part. Um, so shout out to Chantel. Question number one. You can't make look, you can't, I'm reading off of here, but you can't make this stuff up. And I literally just put the prompt in here and then walked away because I didn't want to see what we was about to talk about either. Um, sorry, hold on. He is
Not
just
sorry. Get it right.
um,
Look,
right,
nurse the baby.
nursing. I was like, he just was holding, holding it. But okay, so question one. Where has forgiveness been asking to meet you this season? Within yourself, your relationships, or your past? And what has made it challenging or empowering to answer that call?
Challenging or empowering.
To answer that call.
Mm.
Chantel be so with it. Oh my goodness. Shout out to Chantel.
Man,
All
I'm
right,
for
SS. You want me to read it one more time?
please.
Okay. Where has forgiveness been asking to meet you this season? Within yourself, your relationships, or your past? And what has made it challenging or empowering to answer that call?
Hmm. So I'm going to speak from the space of my marriage, my relationship with my husband, and how forgiveness has been empowering because it has allowed me to make the space for him to heal.
Mm,
Because I put aside ego, I put aside pride, I put aside what I envisioned or drafted, controlled marriage to look like and be, and forgiving his imperfections as well as my own.
mm,
Um, Saying thank you, I forgive you, I love you, please forgive me to myself for how I may have showed up in marriage. Not may have, that's not being accountable. How I showed up, not in my best version, that phases throughout the marriage, and how the forgiveness first of myself, because right, it's like, God, I wasn't my best version, didn't show up for my children the way I needed to show up for them because I didn't know better. But I was doing my best, right? For agreements, I was always doing my best. But when you know better, you do better. So as I began the healing, as I began the evolving, as I continue to release that deep level of core forgiveness first of myself, because I truly believe like once you can forgive yourself and continue to do that whole Ho'oponopono like daily, it's perpetual. Um, you make space for organically others that are close and near and dear to you to heal to. Because people often say, "Yep, I'm sorry, I forgive you," but really, like that heart is really hardened. So I know what I know that I know that it has empowered me to continue to strive to be my best version so that I know the ripple effect will positively impact the relationships that are near and dear to me. And after myself, of course, after God, after myself. And you can mother, you're always a mother, but it comes a point when you have to love and be, live your life. And I think as a mother, it's empowered me as a woman to
mm,
forgive so deeply that I can actually start to live my life for me. You know,
mm,
but again, making space for my husband to do his thing. And what that has created is a level of intimacy, not just a physical aspect, but a level of spiritual and mental intimacy that has allowed us to be our true selves with each other, not with judgment, not with control, but just simply honoring who we are imperfectly imperfect.
Mm.
So, did I answer it all?
Yeah, that's so rich,
So,
man. And thank you for sharing that. Just as someone who is also married, and who, marriage is such a teacher. Marriage is such a teacher. And
yeah.
yeah, I just want to say thank you just for that offering, for that reflection, for that example. Um, so this question is so interesting because I told my husband that I, am working on forgiveness for an individual in my life. And I've shared on socials that, I feel I've heard the call to begin the practice of forgiveness for this individual. And I have been resistant AF because it's an ongoing situation. And I'm like, how do you forgive someone uh, when it's not something that happened, it's something that is happening, something that happened and is happening, and there is no end date. Um, how do you do that type of forgiveness? And so, with the release of the Ho'oponopono journal journey, I feel like I can't be on here talking about forgiveness and be unwilling to forgive this individual in my life. And so I started the Ho'oponopono journal journey, and I'm doing it alongside two amazing queens. And so yesterday, my husband I told him again, like I'm working on the Ho'oponopono. And so he brought up this example, and instantly I started going there in my body, the attitude, and I was like, no, I'm good. And then the comments just started flowing off of my tongue, and I felt the attitude inside of me, and I started going there. And he was like, you're starting to work, you're starting to amp up, and I'm like, okay, I just need a minute. And so I was filled instantly with my human self, with my ego, with the natural go-to responses and places and spaces. And so as it marinated in me, as it lingered, it a topic that we talked about in our first sister circle around Ho'oponopono came up around I love you. And the whole story again of Jesus washing Judas' feet, knowing he was about to betray him, came back into remembrance yesterday. And the whole energy of Jesus came back up to me. And the whole thing of, but Jesus forgave you, Erika Lynn, and Jesus continues to forgive you, and you imperfect AF. And so I also, like, I say all the time, I'm not religious, I'm spiritual. And I don't feel like I believe in the traditional Jesus as the religion does. And that's why I preface all the time by saying I'm not religious. Because for me, Jesus is a teacher, Jesus is an example. Jesus, for me, is someone like back in the day, they used to wear those WWJD bracelets. And for me, Jesus is an inspiration. He is a role model. And so I don't feel so much as this the energy as Jesus forgave me, God forgave me, but the example of you're forgiven by the Most High, Doug's divine universe, God's source, in everything that you do. And you ain't perfect, Erika Lynn. You gonna keep messing up. You gonna keep doing stuff that you said that you working on, and you keep doing it anyways. So why are you not willing to offer that same grace to her? And I was like, okay, check yourself Saturday. Like, that's what we doing right now. But I like the more that I leaned into that energy SS, the more I felt the release. It was almost like the pressure cooker when you push a little button and all the pressure starts coming out, but it's a controlled pressure. That's how I felt. And I'm like, if like I want to be in that too. I want to move from I love you. I don't want to move from animosity. I don't want to move from resentment. I don't want to move from anger. I don't want to move from judgment. I don't want to move from well you and woo woo woo, because flip that joker around and you, Erica Lynn. What about you? Stop pointing your finger. Stop talking about well they, and focus on you and lean into I love you. And that was the example that we left Sister Circle with um last week, was when that situation that's trying, when that person, when that experience, when that event, practice I love you, 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 just on repeat. So for me, it was challenging AF, but that is what I want. And so I feel like I was given the opportunity to have that which I desire, because I love you. I love you. I love you. I don't like what you're doing. I don't agree with what you're doing. And I get to be honest and say that what you're doing stirs some feels in me. But where my power comes in at is I get to choose love. And I get to win that judgment, win that resentment, win that animosity, win that anger, win that fire, win that rage, win that whatever, fill in the blank. I get to choose love. I get to choose to say, and I love you. All of that is true. All of that is real. And at the end of the day, what I want to leave with is love. What I want to lead with is love. What I want to choose with and on purpose is love. So I love you. And I'm going to continue this Ho'oponopono, even if it takes me a while. I'm choosing it over and over and over and over and over again. Because as a being, as an identity, I want to be love. And I cannot hold this resentment. I cannot live in this animosity. I cannot reside in anger and lead and choose and live love. And so that is what I'm choosing in this season of forgiveness, because she keeps getting brought up. And so this is an example. I feel like Doug's is giving me something to respond to, and that is to choose love and to release this and forgive this and let it go.
And I always say when those same things keep repeating itself and it keeps coming up, right? You're not learning the lessons. And I'm not saying you personally are not learning the lessons. But it's something that you needed to learn. And so like making sure that you're balanced. When I say you, I say me, all of us, right? Um, so that you can receive the download to know the lesson that you're learning. Because oftentimes what I find with myself is that the very thing that I am angry and frustrated with is my very own stuff, right? That very own thing that I'm needing to continue to heal from. And, it's because I shared with Mario this week, I was like, it's not about, as I navigated some situations in my space as mother, I'm like, okay, these are the consequences of my action as a mother during the rearing. So what lesson am I supposed to get out of this? What lesson about myself?
Mm-hmm.
And so that's the greatest teacher. So when it keeps coming up and I'm like, okay, God, what did I miss the first 2 times? you know,
That part.
so what's the lesson? And not like he's going to give me that direct answer, because that's that soul searching where you have to be, again, balanced, mind, body, spirit, and divinely connected so that you can hear and discern what it is. So oftentimes it's not right away. It's just continuing to be in that balance space. So that's where that work comes in, the perpetual work. Ho'oponopono, just making yourself, clearing that heart, making sure that you're in the right mind space to receive.
That part. And I think too, sis, like I love that you bring it back to us as the individual in the lesson, because I think for me, one of the things that I've really realized is, like how hard I can be myself. And so as I choose to love her, I also have an opportunity to love me, because it's easy to feel like you have to wait until you get right in order before you can give yourself that love and before you can give yourself that grace. Like, oh, once I blank, once I stop blank, once I finally finish the work on this, then. And it's like, no, like, you get to be loved now. You get to be
Right.
loved in your imperfection. Yes, there are certain things that you do keep going
Mm-hmm.
over and over again, and you're still worthy of love now. You're still
Yeah.
worthy of forgiveness now. And yes, sometimes I think that's one of the biggest lessons too, is like sometimes we are working on things and sometimes it
Mm-hmm.
does take a little bit longer. And as you are navigating, as you are going through the things, you get to be forgiven for each step of the way, and you get to receive love each step of the way.
Yeah.
um and I get to give myself love. Like, even in
Mm-hmm.
this situation, the fact that this is challenging. I'm not even going to use the S word because I'm not struggling. This is challenging, but this is
Mm-hmm.
something that I want. So every time I get knocked down, I bounce back up because I want to love her. I want to love me. I want to love others in their humanness, in their journey, because other people's journey is not my responsibility. It is not mine to control. It is not mine to even judge. You get
Mm-hmm.
to life whatever way you decide, choose to love. And I am my responsibility. The choices I make are my responsibility. How I choose to show up as I'm navigating is on me. So I get to love me, and I get to love her, and I get to love you, and I get to love everyone, just like keeping it all the way real, because I feel like that's what we're created for. To be the love, share the love. But moving on to question 2. How has gratitude shown up as a teacher for you lately, especially in the moments that didn't feel like blessings at first? Right?
Wow, that's a good one.
Right? Ooh.
I'm setting the intention to answer it and still maintain a level of privacy and confidentiality as it pertains to the my marriage. Um, I'm gonna try to say this eloquently and like where it's still meaty and you get it. As I have traversed my marital space over the last almost year, when we were placed in this situation, I was devastated. It was traumatic. It was emotional. Um, it rocked my whole world, my being. It rocked our family. And as I fast forward to almost a year later, the gratitude stands in really seeing how the divine works, where he'll take a situation that looks like it is going to break your core, your being, and you won't even be able to get up. I've seen myself grow as a woman. I've seen myself grow as a mother, as a daughter, and the wife that I have become in this very intense, very emotional, very non-traditional way of marriage. I was gonna say marrying, of being in a marriage. Um, I have seen us come full circle, and the gratitude is in not allowing the situation to break us individually or collectively, but strengthening us. Because the side note is in a marriage, especially when you bring kids in, you get so focused in that parenthood, right? And you're trying to do things the way, um, that weren't done to you, but yet you overkill in certain areas, you coddle, you hover. And in this piece too, I've been able to see my imperfections as a mom, right? Um, But also the gratitude in that is to have the conversations with the kids, and then back to the marriage, have the conversations with my husband, and to see us all grow individually. And for me as a wife, it's again increased the level of spiritual connection and truly seeing each other as individuals with childhood wounds, with always wanting to have done the right thing, but having so many of those shadow parts come and just be at the head of the table, leading, in the relationship as opposed to our authentic selves because we didn't know our authentic selves, because we were living from a domesticated state. The gratitude is also me seeing that when I do the work and I focus on me, when I have the audacity to be the first to put me first, that I am able to ripple what I want to see in my family, in the relationships that I have outside, in my life as a whole. I have gratitude for seeing God's lavish, unfailing abundance that even though, things are hard, like it's November, I am at my parents' house in Florida when it's inches of snow at home. The reality is I'm here because my dad had a stroke and we're navigating that. But the gratitude is that I'm still able to be here as a daughter. I'm still able to be here to show up for my parents and help. And like my mom and I, the way we tag team caring for him from hoyering and moving him and in his bed and exercising his legs and cooking and just doing all of the things. It's like all of these things that were could have broken me, could have broken us. The gratitude in this or where I am now is just even in as things unfold, what I'm saying, and what appear or what can be um, crumbling, divisive, catastrophic. It hasn't been because of my trust, because of the faith, and because I know that it's not happening to me, it's happening for me. And as my mom always says, and as she has on her vision board, it's the Dr. Seuss quote. I don't have it verbatim, but it's not about what's happening to us. It's about how to respond to what has happened and not react, right? The response, because the response is intentional. It's intentional, and it's not emotionally led. So I know that was a lot. So hopefully I can live, but it's I guess I not I guess I'm in a space of like it's about the mindset. It's mindset. So I'm grateful for the mindset, and that the growth that I've had in that mindset change and the growth of that. So yeah. So yeah, that's where I
Thank you for that, SS. That's the beauty of those who have a defined throat center. You talked about speaking eloquently and you talked about being mindful and intentional with your words. But I think that, again, that's the beauty of having a defined throat center is that when you just trust yourself, the divine words will flow and you don't have to do anything but just trust yourself and um, trust yourself, trust your energy, and trust that it's going to land and it's going to hit because everything that you started off with, that's exactly how your words landed. And two, I cannot say it enough, y'all. This is what happens when you share space with a 6-2 emotional manifesting generator, y'all. Like she is
trying to
all of
hold the tears back.
man, no, real life SS. And then two, like that's the beauty of human design. And I know that I've said it before. If anyone has ever listened to our easy talks, you're 27.6 conscious sun energy. Like it is so divine, just that caring energy, that nurturing energy. Like you embody it and you live it so beautifully. So it's truly a gift to witness when you talk about navigating the role as daughter, navigating the role as wife, navigating the role as mother. You see that 27 so beautifully, even in shared space, like as your sister, you know what I mean? I feel that energy too. I'm gifted with the receiving of that energy. So the more that we trust ourselves to be ourselves instead of feeling like we have to be a certain way, like there's just so much beauty in trusting and living out your divine design in the unfolding of life. So thank you for just being USS and speaking your truth, because I feel like sometimes like we don't want to share too much, but there's a gift in sharing authentically. And when we share authentically, then sharing organically. Um, it's beautiful to witness. So thank you for your truth. When I think about gratitude, there's two things that come to mind, and I don't know if it's my line three energy, but um, my beauty comes on the other side of storms. And again, going back to the Ho'oponopono, like I have lived a heck of a life and I have navigated some hella storms. And in the midst of those jokers, I didn't know how I was going to get out. You know what I mean? I questioned whether or not I have the strength to make it out. Um, and when I look at my life today, the first thing that I think about is my parents. I remember a time where I wasn't even on speaking terms with my parents. I if there was the possibility of a relationship with my parents, I didn't even have the willingness to explore it because of the level of resentment, the level of hurt, the level of pain that I experienced in my childhood being raised by them. And all I could see was the darkness. All I could see were the things that went wrong. All I could see were their imperfections. All I could see was the weight of the experiences that I experienced with them, the darker experiences, and how it clouded my lens of anything more than that darkness. And today, I have a relationship with my parents, and I am so grateful for. My stepmom is my stepmom, but my stepmom earned that title. She is a mother to me. There are so many things that now that I've done the healing work, I don't just see the dark experiences. I see the gifts that she gave me. Part of my smarts, part of my intelligence, part of my skill set is rooted in her and rooted in what she gave me, rooted in the tasks that she had me complete as a child, what she saw in me, the prayers that she covered me with is part of the reason why I stand here today. I love my stepmama so much. And although she did not give me birth, she wholly and fully earned every piece and part of that motherhood title in my life. And my daddy is still my daddy, y'all, but my daddy loves me. And today I know that he loves me. And I know that I know that I know that each and every experience that we held, he did his absolute best. And for me to try to say what his best should or could have been is a disservice. I know that my daddy did his best, and I'm grateful for all of his best. And today, like, I'm just so grateful to have the relationship that I have with them. Like they are amazing people and they are my parents. And it may not have always been sparkly with unicorns and Skittles popping out of rainbows and clouds and stuff. But our story is our story. And today, our story is part of my foundation as to how I've been able to rise into the woman I am today. And that is where my gratitude comes from because the experiences that we navigated as a family, that's part of my strength. That's part of my resilience. That's part of my tenacity. That's part of my womanhood. Is what they gave me with what they gave me, what they equipped me with. And as I navigate mommyhood of my own today, I have so much grace because I now know part of what my parents had to go through raising me as I navigate raising five children of my own. And because of what I went through as a child and who I am today, that gives me inspiration for what can be possible for some of my children as they're navigating the things that they are navigating, and respecting the fact that they have a journey, each and every single one of them. They have a pathway, and it is not my responsibility to lay the bricks of their path. It is my responsibility to cover each brick that is laid of their path, to believe that all the things that they are going through holds purpose, and to keep them covered, to keep them prayed up, to know that there is a most high, to know that what I see with the natural eye has nothing to do with the reality of what is unfolding in this moment, and to trust the creator. And that's one of the biggest things I have gratitude for today also, because I'm gonna be all the way honest. This journey that I have been journeying with my oldest son over the last year, it has changed everything about what I thought motherhood was. And this is not at all my desire for what I wanted when I said yes to being a mommy. And I know that this too holds purpose. And this is for us, not to us. And I believe in my son. And I know that he's navigating his own darkness right now, but I know what I created. And there are a lot of things that my ex-husband and I did wrong, but one of the two things that we did right were my two sons. And that's what I'm going to believe and hold on to. So that is what I'm grateful for. I'm grateful for my parents. I'm grateful for my children. And I'm grateful for the gift of life, because once upon a time, like, I prayed for the life that I'm living today. And it's still not perfect, but it is mine. And I am grateful for it. And I know my power today. And I know that I have the ability to navigate any storm that comes to my doorstep. So that's what I'm grateful for.
Beautiful.
Yeah. So I'm gonna close us out, like, deuces up. See y'all next month. But SS, I still need you to do what you do and sprinkle us with our journaling prompt for the month of November as we enter into December.
As we round out November, this month's journaling prompt is going to be to set the intention for December. Literally write out what your intentions are for daily practice of gratitude. So every day, make time and write out 3 things that you are grateful for, period. And after you write them, say, it is done. Write that down too. So 3 things that you're grateful for daily, and it is done as you close your journaling.
Ashe.
Shay.
Yeah. So I feel like my dog is chewing on something too. He want to be part of the video, getting
And
hollered
my
at.
dad keeps calling me out here, Dinky.
Oh, well, I know this was a little bit longer than the last couple have been, but we still, managed to keep it short and sweetish. Thank y'all so much for y'all time. Thank you so much for joining us again, whether you tune in for a minute or from the beginning to the end. We are so grateful for you. We are so appreciative of you. And again, like, we want to hear from y'all. If there's something that you're ho'oponopono in, if there's something that you're grateful for, share it with us. Like, we want to interact. You know what I mean? Like, we're here. Like, and if you just like need somebody to hold the space, because the holiday season can be weighted AF. So whatever y'all need from us, know that you do not have to navigate anything by yourself. And we love a good celebration. So let's talk about it. Feel free to leave a comment. Feel free to DM us if you see this on the book. But yeah, we are here for y'all. Happy holidays to you all. Be safe
And
out
one
here.
last thing, sis.
Yes.
As you talk about us navigating, for those that live in the Kalamazoo area or surrounding areas, on December 6th, next Saturday, Thanks Healing will be going on at Kalamazoo Backyard Yogis. And it's with Collect and Recover, IPS, and Backyard Yogis. My sis and I will both be there as practitioners and vendors. So come and check us out, because it's an opportunity to heal collectively.
Absolutely. So I will link that. I will link the audacity to be And I will also link the Ho'oponopono journal journey. So there's three different things. One thing that is an actual physical in-person event, one thing that you can order on Amazon and get it and hold it in your hands, the well-being book that you can do. There's a little piece in the back that gives you the opportunity to create. It's a 21 day, right, sis? 21-day wellness practice where you can journal and do all of the things and just write it out and be with it and read some goodness as you do it. But like I said, a physical copy you can hold in your hands. And then again, last but not least, there's the Ho'oponopono journal journey that you can download and have accessible and write it out, print it out, do what you want to do with it. But again, take care of you this holiday season. And as we're closing out the year and preparing for something beautiful in 2026. But until next time, y'all, I would wave, but I have one hand on a breast and I'm holding the other hand's holding my baby. So
I'll wait for us.
yes. Oh, I do have to close this out by pushing the end button. But thank y'all so much. I'm gonna try without falling. Until next month, y'all. Bye bye.